Saturday night's main event with Jesse the Body Ventura back on commentary on Rhode Island, the same place where the original Saturday night's main event first took place in 1985.
No, this isn't on Rhode Island. Long Island.
I'm sorry. Thank you for correcting me. We have 4 major championship matches. We have a personal feud. I'm wondering how they're going to get all 5 of these matches in 2 hours, assuming there's going to be commercials on the thing, because usually Raw or SmackDown, a 2-hour show, has about 4 matches on it.
And they're streaming this on NBC. You can also watch it on Peacock.
On Peacock as well. So I think there is going to be a major angle that comes out of this Saturday night's main event. I think we're going to have a new champion. I cannot decide where yet. But now, also, you got to think about it now. They are teasing a huge brand changes with this transfer portal, basically stealing the idea from college football.
Yes.
As we get to the first Raw on Netflix. Like, is it possible? Does Cody lose the championship so he moves to Raw? Does Gunther lose the championship so he moves to SmackDown? I can very well see that happening.
Well, you know my feeling. I think Kevin Owens should win the championship. Yep. You and I debated this last time we talked about it. Do I think WWE is going to pull the trigger on it? Unfortunately, no. I don't think the feud is going to be over after this match, though. I think this is going to the Royal Rumble. I really do.
Do you think somebody named the Viper or somebody named the Final Boss even potentially interferes in this match?
I don't know about The Rock, because I know where you're going with that, but I very well could see Randy Orton interfering in this match in some way. Who he interferes on, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
What if he RKO's both and they're just both laid out?
That's why I'm hoping that when we get to WrestleMania, I think Kevin Owens walks into the match as champion and he has to face both Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes in a triple
So you think that's the WrestleMania match? I think that's the Rumble match.
I think it's the WrestleMania match. I really do.
Okay, because I still think Cody and Rock is the WrestleMania match, and I think it will probably just be them two, because I don't know if you heard the rumors today, because this relates to it a little bit. Did you hear what one of the first matches of the first Raw on Netflix is rumored to be?
Roman and Cody, yeah.
No.
Oh, Punk and Rollins, yes.
Punk and Rollins, yes. Which leads me to believe, are we going to do Punk and Roman for Paul Heyman at WrestleMania?
They could.
I'm so excited, man. If there is this WrestleMania season, we thought last year's was Hulkamania gone wild, if you will. This year's going to be, I'm sorry, excuse my French, this thing's going to be completely on crack.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, though. I don't think Gunther's going to lose the championship, but man, the fact that it got changed into a triple threat just adds so much more intrigue to that match for me.
Balor could very easily pin Priest. Gunther does not get involved in the decision, because I don't think if Gunther wins the title, I don't think he's taking the fall.
I agree. I could see a scenario, though, where Balor and Priest basically beat each other up, which allows Gunther to retain the title.
Yeah.
Kind of like what we saw at WrestleMania 39, where Drew and Sheamus were so focused on each other. Kind of like that. Gunther,
Priest, and Balor could easily tear the roof off that place.
Oh, for sure. For me, that's the second biggest match on the card. That's not to diminish the other matches, but for me, Cody Kevin is on a tier of its own, because I'm personally loving the feud. I think Kevin Owens has played his heel character
He's
perfectly.
always been a way better heel than a babyface.
Oh, for sure. Um, but there's just something about this Priest Balor dynamic that I'm loving. And now you're throwing Gunther into the mix and adding the World Heavyweight Championship. Sign me up. There's
So,
just
so
there's
I'm
just
gonna throw
something about it.
two generalizations at you. Number one, I think you know this, but we don't talk a ton about it. My main thing that I've sort of noticed since Paul Triple H Levesque has sort of overarched, took over the long term booking of WWE, and they've done more of this long term storyline thing, is obviously he does always have a plan in place months out in advance. But the other thing is, he is a very astute historian. And when it comes to Saturday night's main event, I think number one, back in the day, because remember, it did used to air before Saturday Night Live came on the air. So they would always, to make people tune in at the start of the show and try to get people to stick around for Saturday Night Live, they would do the main event of the show first. Cody and Kevin, presumably the main event. I would not be shocked if that was actually your first match of the night.
If they do that, I think you're kind of giving away the ending. And it kind of takes a little of the steam away from the match. I understand your reasoning. I'm not saying you're wrong, but in my opinion, if you do that, I think you take some of the mystery away from the match and some of the excitement. That's just my
I think if they do that, I think the triple threat would main event, and I think that would mean Gunther's losing the title. Because I do think we're going to close this show with a title change. It's going to be a major angle. I do think one of the championships on the line, obviously one of them is going to be a new champion, the women's U.S. champion, whether it's Michin, Stratton, Bailey, or Chelsea Green. I think one of the other three champions are going to lose their title.
yes. Um, and I'll tell you what, this Sammy Drew match is going to be interesting because I want to know how Jay Uso is going to factor into it. I
Yeah,
think
I'm kind of shocked. I kind of feel like they rushed this match a little bit. Like when Drew came back and Claymore Sammy, maybe it's my long term booking, but I'm like, oh, that's your WrestleMania match.
oh, I totally could have justified them doing that at WrestleMania. It would not surprise me if they go back to Drew against Jey Uso and do that for WrestleMania. I'm not saying that is a WrestleMania caliber match, but it would not be surprising if that makes sense.
Does Seth Rollins interfere in this match? Does he cost Sami Zayn the
And
match?
and possibly align with Drew? No,
Yeah.
I
See,
can't see it.
I I've seen, because as you know, before the Royal Rumble, we have another Saturday night main event that's taking place the Saturday before the Rumble. I've seen some hypotheticals of some people on the internet saying, what if they do a big tag match where it's Sammy and Punk versus Rollins and Drew?
Uh, wait, they're doing a second Saturday night's main event?
Yeah, it's right before the Rumble. It's the Saturday before the Rumble. So there are two Saturday nights main event. This one, and there's going to be one in San Antonio the week before the Rumble.
Oh, that's the one in 2025 they just recently announced
Correct. Yes.
it. Okay. Um,
That's why I was saying at that event to sort of hype up the Rumble, because I don't think you're going to do a major title change on that show. What if your main event, or one of the main events, is Sammy and either Punk or Jey Uso versus Rollins and McIntyre?
maybe. I I I get it. I maybe there's a lot of interesting angles you could go with this. Don't forget, there's a possibility they could do Rollins against Roman at WrestleMania.
I don't see it. I don't think they go back to the Shield feud. I they keep teasing it, but I don't think you go back there again. I think it's one of those that should have been done like while Roman was still champion.
Which the
I
way they did that finish at Royal Rumble was horrible.
It wouldn't have been horrible if you would have got another match out of it.
Yeah.
But we did, which is why it makes it look worse than it is. Let's be real.
Yes.
Um
But
and
I want,
so I don't know.
yeah. Like, and then Liv Io, it it feels like that's the most obvious match on the card. Liv's gonna win and retain her title because I
Yeah,
guess I don't
I,
know for you and I were talking about, are they gonna stretch Liv Rhea all the way out to WrestleMania? I don't think so because of what you were saying. At the first Raw on Netflix, they want to treat that like a WrestleMania, right?
yes.
And the rumor is they're going to do Punk against Rollins. Rhea, Liv.
Okay. I can totally see that. My question is, and here's the other thing too. If because we don't know if this Jade Cargill injury, they did this attack, if it's storyline related, if she's actually hurt. I've seen conflicting reports. Like, does that change what Bianca does? Do you put her in the title picture? Like, one of the reasons why I don't think Tiffany Stratton is going to win the U.S. title is because I think she's relatively cashing in soon on Nia Jax.
She should have cashed in at War
She
Games.
should have cashed in the middle of the match. I thought that would have been a great moment. I agree with you. Um, I hope it's Chelsea Green. I think Chelsea Green deserves it unequivocally. I think she's tailor made for a mid card women's championship.
Yeah. I kind of hate that they're doing the same thing on both shows with the Women's Intercontinental Championship.
Well, that tournament, I assume, is going to correlate the first Raw on Netflix.
Yeah, but it's just kind of dumb that they're doing tournament on one side, tournament on the other. Yay!
Well, I mean, seriously, if you think about it, I mean, if you get any more ideas, let me know. But how, would you do qualifying matches for a ladder match and that's how you determine the first champion? Like,
Yep.
okay, that's fair.
Yeah. Could you like the women's Money in the Bank matches recently have been fantastic.
Oh, I thought the one this year was right up there with the men's.
So that's exactly what I'm saying. Why not do, a women's intercontinental championship ladder match?
Yeah, they could. No, it's a good point. I definitely see you on that point. Very excited though for Saturday night's main event. Cannot wait